Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee Around the Globe. I'm really excited today because this is episode number 11, but unfortunately, this is the last episode of 2020. So, grab your coffee. I got my coffee, and let's have a great discussion today. Today, we are going to be talking with a former professional basketball player in Germany. I'm really excited because he was born in Germany, raised in Germany, played some ball in the States, but as well as was able to be a part of Newsleaf Basketball. And as a camper, as a player, as a coach, some of y'all may know him, some of you may not know him. So besides it all, it's going to be a great discussion because I know him a little bit, and he's a great guy and someone that everyone needs to get to know. So, if you don't know what Coffee Around the Globe is, it is where I take Andrew Cummings, European director. I have the show so that we're able to talk with people from around the globe while drinking coffee, thus the coffee, and also we're able to talk with them about basketball, faith, Newsleaf Basketball, and all the above. So I'm really excited to get this show going. As I said, we have the great opportunity to talk with a former professional basketball player in Germany. So I'm really excited to get this show going. So for all y'all watching, tuning in, I appreciate you all watching this. And if you have any questions about any of the topics we're talking about today, please comment it and we will get to answer those questions. As I mentioned, this is the last episode of the year. So be ready, grab your coffee, and let's have a great show. So I'm going to be asking Big to the Nicholas Knott to come on the show. Will be our discussion as he will be our interviewer today. So let's get him on the call. There he is, the man himself, the legend. Nick, how are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Good.
How's your coffee?
I love it. Is that Rudolph?
I think it resembles more of Bambi. It's just a mug I got from my time in Heidelberg because it's the only one big enough for me.
Heard that. I got a pretty big one too. I got the gnomes on
Uh,
this.
oh yeah, that's American sized mug. That's an American sized mug if I've ever seen one.
Yes, that is correct. I love my coffee, so the bigger the mug, the better.
Oh yeah.
So for all those watching, Nick, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Who you are, how old you are, where you're located in Germany. Just the basic information so people can know you.
All right. My name is Nik Ney. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Berlin, live in Berlin, Germany. Went to college at Mercer University in Macon, Georgia for 2 years, from 2014 to 2016. Then played second league in Heidelberg from 2016 to 2019. And now I'm back in Berlin. Just started going back to university, studying English and sports to become a teacher. So that's what my life been up to recently. Of course, all the classes are digital, except for one, of course, the basketball class, but under hygiene rules. So that's at least nice to get out of the house at least once a week. And yeah, so that's basically the whole time I've been just at home, sitting in front of the laptop, attending Zoom meetings left and right. Yeah, it's definitely it's a weird time, but I'm glad we still get to come together enjoying our coffee, even though probably got a lot more coffee than I do. And yeah, looking forward to it, definitely.
Yeah,
Great to see you. Great to see you again, by the way, too. Looking
thank
good, looking
you.
sharp.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. It's a great time just to be able to have these coffee around the globes with many different people around the globe. People that are involved in the basketball world, and so whenever you mentioned that you would want to be on the show, I was like, yes, we got to get you on here. We got to get you on here. So I know a couple of viewers already that are watching this, so I appreciate y'all watching this. We got some of the Sorensen family,
Oh
and
yeah.
other people that I've already seen comment on there to say it's you, Nick.
Yeah,
Awesome.
still jealous of my mom that she got to visit the Sorensen family in Boulder, Colorado. She sent me pictures of it. They all looked lovely.
Yeah, I was actually just there about a month ago, so it was a great time meeting up with Steve and his family. So But yeah, let's get more into it. So you said you're able to. When did you start playing basketball? Why don't you share a little bit? I know you mentioned that you went to the States, played over there, but what about like your career? Can you just mention a little bit more about that, more about the professional?
Yeah, I started playing basketball at the tender age of 9 years old at a little club in Berlin. I had my mom coach me and my dad coach my older brother Joey. And then we like went through the whole like Berlin system all up to the stars of the JBBL, the under 16 age National League. They just founded. And then also moved up to the under 19 German National League, where my last available year I got to win the German championship alongside some today professional players like Ismet Akpınar. He's playing in Turkey right now, and current NBA player Mo Wagner.
Okay.
Then directly afterwards, I went to college, played for Mercer University, went to college there. That was a great experience. Then I decided to get back to Germany, start my professional career here. Got some offers, went to Heidelberg, felt great there, played there for 3 years, made a lot of good friends and memories. And but now I've decided that playing professionally didn't fulfill me as much as I wanted it to. Like all the pressure kind of took the fun away from me a little bit. So now I'm just back here, just starting my studies and just playing basketball for fun with friends whenever available. Of course, right now under current regulations, it's not available.
Understand.
So we've just been mostly hanging out in Zoom calls.
Hmm.
We do like a quiz every once every week, where just like one person or one group prepares some questions, and we just either try to find the right answers or the most creative answers, which always makes for a great laugh. So yeah, basketball really connected me with a lot of great people, and of course with News Release, I think it was 2006 where News Release came first to Berlin, did a camp there.
Oh,
Where yeah, I remember Steve would always say that was back then I was still smaller than him, so there. And so he always tells a story like I remember this guy when he was smaller than me, and now he's like almost like half a foot taller.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, what position did you play?
I
When you
I played center mostly. Sometimes they let me try power forward because I always had a decent shot, but
Mhm.
mostly since I was the tallest of the team, I always put me under the basket, send screens, getting boards. Really unthankful job if you think about it, especially these days where most people just run around shooting threes all the time.
Mhm.
And yeah, but
Yeah, I
like
understand.
it's unthankful for a lot of reasons, but also like when you have a coach that appreciates a good big man, you're really thankful for. That's why I'm always thankful for the coach that I won the German National League with. He always put me in great positions to improve my team and help my teammates, even without even scoring and getting boards, even though I did a lot of those. Not in the semifinal. I think in the semifinal I only had 4 points.
Hey, but you're a
Uh,
big part of it, though. But I definitely understand being a coach myself. I know the game is changing a little bit, but I'm always appreciative about those guys that are the big man that get the rebounds because those rebounds win you games, as you know.
oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
what about?
I'm trying to tell that to my kids always that I'm also coaching a youth team here in Berlin. I
Okay.
always try to. It's not always about statistics. Like they watch the NBA. They want to be like the guys that drop triple doubles. They want to be like James Harden who drops 50-point triple double almost every like couple of games in a row. But I keep telling them that it's basketball is a team sport. It's a lot more than just filling out a stat sheet.
For sure, for
Uh,
sure. Is basketball different in America as it is in Germany, compared to yourself when you're able to play over there to playing professionally in Germany? Is there a big difference?
Oh yeah, definitely. Basketball in America is way quicker. You got a
Hmm.
lot more athletic guys. Especially when you look at the college system, like the facilities are so professional there.
Hmm.
They really have a lot of opportunities there to like improve power, improve athleticism, and it really shows in the games. Like you look at most like Big Ten or SEC college games these days, like the pace is way quicker than whenever you go over to Europe. Here it's more system based, even though it's starting to turn a lot quicker now too.
Hmm.
But because like the basketball also gets funded way more than a couple of years ago here in Europe, especially here in Germany. And like here, there also more opportunities are being given to young players
Hmm.
to improve their athleticism, and it's starting to show in the professional leagues. Like the young guys that come off the system now, they're like my size, but they're point guards, and they can still posterize people if they want, if they get in the right positions. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really fun to watch the young German players like develop here, and also a lot of more German players in the NBA now. You look at Dennis Schroeder, you look at Mo Wagner, Maxi Kleber, Daniel Theis, a lot more play. Like you would think that after Dirk there would be a big hole, but now I think we have like seven German national players in the NBA now.
Hmm.
It just goes to show like the level of improvement the German basketball has developed over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Even the 5 years while living there for myself, even that short time frame, I could tell a difference of players getting better at a younger age, getting quicker at a younger age. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way they just try to play the NBA style. Kids like that. And yeah, it's probably some of it is not great for development, but I think there is a way to play that style still that is attractive, but also helps players get better. As you said, there's a big difference in USA and Germany, and maybe that's the gap. It's closing in.
Yeah, I think it's like what sh as the last couple of years showed us is that a good balance between those two gets the most success. I mean, you look at the San Antonio Spurs. They won a championship with just basic American players in the European playing system.
Hmm.
And also when you watch EuroLeague, you get the big and fast athletic players, but they're still in a very organized system. Like whenever you watch the EuroLeague Final Four, those are like the best games to watch in my opinion,
Yeah,
because it just shows the best of like both the American basketball and European basketball.
definitely, definitely. Talking about more professional basketball, take us through a day, take us through a week, take us through a season. What does that look like? I know a lot of the people that watch this, 99% of them never played professional basketball. And so it would be great to hear your perspective on it, of how the daily grind is.
Yeah, well, we usually had games on Sundays. So, like on Mondays, we would have a day off right after our game. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we would have two practices a day. Usually it would be Tuesday and Thursday. We would have athletic training or weights in the morning. And then Wednesday, sometimes even Saturday morning, we would have individual practices. And then we always have team practice in the evening. And on Saturday, on the later afternoon. And then on Sunday, we would have the game mostly at around, I think it was 5:30 p.m.
Hmm.
But I also heard from other clubs that they would also add another extra practice before the game on game days. Usually just shoot around or like going through the system and maybe some extra scouting or something else.
Okay. Was there a lot of, were you able to like ride in planes, have the good life as you see a lot of NBA players?
Uh, in the second league, not so much. We would always have a team bus.
Hmm.
That was pretty nice. That was pretty cozy. Of course, in the BBL, in the first German league, sometimes when you have those long distances, like from Hamburg down to Munich, they would sometimes take planes. Of course, right now with travel restrictions, I don't know how that works anymore. I think the team bus is would be probably better with being socially isolated. I don't know. But those like big teams in the BBL do have the funding to afford like planes and team buses. And in Heidelberg, we were lucky to have the team bus.
Yeah.
Uh, of, I don't even think we had the bus on our own. I think also some other organizations use the bus from time to time. But yeah, it was not quite the college level of professional, but in second division it was pretty professional.
Mhm.
And from what I hear, these days get more and more professional. Like more second teams are being funded heavily to have better facilities or better arenas, and just maybe to afford to in the near future move up to the first league
Okay.
because
Yeah.
there's a lot more total money available now in the market than there was a couple years ago.
Yeah, basketball is growing in Germany, or I should say in Europe.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, there's more and more German, more and more European players playing in the NBA. So those countries are seeing that it is profitable and it is growing. So that's good that you mentioned that even the second league teams are even getting more and more funded. Um, with basketball, with your basketball journey, you said you met or were partnered with Newsleaf Basketball in 2016, right?
2000, I think 2006 was, I think, the first year when I went there as a camper at the tender age of 10 years old.
2006. Okay, my bad. 10 years off.
Yeah.
How was that as a camper for you?
It was pretty exciting because it was basically the first time I've ever met Americans. And I basically I never met anyone outside of the own continent, and it was like so exciting. But back then, my English wasn't as good, so I always had to have like one of the helpers translate for me.
Hmm.
And I know I had like a program of like pictures of all the guys, and I got autographs for all the guys because they're like, oh my God, they're American basketball players. They're definitely sometimes at some point in the future in the NBA. And they're like, yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, it was definitely an exciting time, and it's always nice to sometimes see in the face of young people that would go to our camps to like because they would be in the same position as me back then. It would be the first time they ever see people uh, speaking a different language than them.
yeah. And then you also had the opportunity to be a coach, as well, or even a player at one time, right?
Yeah, I was a camper, I was a coach, I was a player, I was a helper. I think the only thing I never been was a tour director.
Hey, soon, soon, soon.
But maybe, let's see. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Like the only time, other places I visited because of news release were in Nice in France. I went there twice, and I think one time I also went to what's that little place called near Magdeburg again?
Hmm. Okay, what was
Yeah.
your perspective about it all? Like when you first found out about Newsleaf as a camper, and then end up being a player and a coach. Like now looking back on it, what's your whole perspective of NRB?
NRB really opened some doors for me. It opened me up to like the idea of faith and also helped me like get some friends from like other origin, other place of origin, another continent. Like if you would look at my friends list right now because of news release, I could basically travel the entire United States and just like stay with friends if the pandemic wouldn't be here. And I'm really thankful for that. It really put me on a personal travel, like on a personal growth, because like with every year I matured more. Every year I would speak more to the players about like their experiences in life, their faith, and just Christianity and like in a whole, and also like the States before I ever actually got to visit it for myself
Mm.
because I like like basically one of my first questions would be if everything is like they depict in the movies.
Yeah, definitely
And that
is.
would,
I think
yeah.
it's awesome that you have so many relationships with a lot of people from around the world, um, and that you were able to start hearing about God and Christianity through news leads as well. And that's one perspective that is different from a bunch of other basketball camps that we bring the faith involved. What would you say? Um, Basketball and faith is not really common there in Germany, correct?
Yeah, not really. It's basically just you go in the gym, you play your basketball, you maybe make some friends there, and like your faith is usually takes place in home in your private time.
Hmm. Yeah, different boxes, different days.
Yeah.
So what do you think the perspective is for kids that first hear about Newsleaf basketball?
What do you mean exactly?
So, what do you think kids think of Newsleaf basketball before they show up to a camp?
Um, Probably just like either just like another basketball camp just with Americans. I don't think
Hmm.
before I went to my first news release camp, I really like took faith into measure. I just thought it was
Hmm.
cool that to finally learn some basketball from Americans because back then, like Americans were the basically any American that would play basketball would be an expert for me on basketball because of the NBA.
Hmm.
But then, of course,
Is it?
if when you go from if you stick from camp to camp, you get to realize that it's about more than just the game. It's about life. It's about personality. It's about connecting with people. And I think it's a really nice experience that a lot more people should go through, I think, because it really helped me in my personal growth. And I think it would also help a lot more people if they would have the opportunity.
Yeah, you said it best. You said it better than me, so I appreciate that. A lot of people, um, like you just said, don't combine faith and basketball, and that's the beautiful thing about God is that he invites everyone in all places, in all ways of life, business, school, basketball. So, yeah, that's awesome. Well, Nick, I just want to say thank you so much for being part of the call. I think it's really cool to get your perspective on basketball in Germany, basketball in USA, basketball with NRB, as well as faith in basketball, and what you think about it and what a lot of other people in Germany are thinking about it. You have any last words, comments, anything you want to share with everyone?
I just want to say that thank you for this format. To everyone watching, I wish you a Merry Christmas and that everyone stays healthy. And I really just wanted to say that even though in these times where we're supposed to be isolated, we should never forget that that there's a lot of opportunities to connect with people, and we should never devalue that. It's a lot more helpful than I think some people might realize because I really felt it during these times. Like whenever I would go a couple of days in a row without really talking to anyone, I would be in a lot worse headspace than after a Zoom call with friends. And I think we should really try and, if we have the opportunity, to take some time on the side and just talk to our friends, check up on them, see if they're doing well, and just to give each other positive vibes that carry us through these troubled times. And I think if we all work on that, then maybe together we can make 2021 a way better year than 2020 was.
Amen. Being the family of God. Awesome,
Yeah,
brother. Awesome. Well, like I said, I appreciate you and everyone watching this. This is the last episode of Coffee Around the Globe, sadly, but we'll be back in 2021 with an even bigger and better vision. Like Nick said, 2021 is about to be awesome. All right,
yeah.
Nick, have a great day. I love the coffee mug as well.
Uh, Stay healthy, man. Feliz Navidad.
All right, say hi to your family for me, and we'll talk
Of
soon.
course. Uh,
All right, bye. Ciao.
Ciao.